How you doing there? It's Caley Wilson coming to you from a beach house in Tairua in New Zealand, where I'm currently in self-isolation. The world of remote storytelling has taken off, forced upon all of us in the bizarre and new times that we're all facing with COVID-19. I'm joined today by my colleague Jared Thompson, who was in Las Vegas, also isolating. Morning, Jared.
Cheers, mate. It looks pretty good there. You've been kicking it, and obviously a lot of things have happened, especially in the past week. So, tell me about it. We've all been busy, but you've had a lot to do.
Yeah, that whilst operating by myself from a beach house in New Zealand, things have been wildly changing in the world of remote storytelling. Obviously, that's impacted the media greatly. Nearly everyone working from home, and not only having to create systems for themselves to be very efficient working from home, but also needing to integrate with their newsroom. So we've had a lot to do in that space, and the world of sport arguably even more greatly disrupted, with games not being played, events not happening, staffing numbers greatly reduced, communication staff not having any face-to-face contact with their athletes, and having to create all new ways of generating content when their traditional bread and butter of matches and pre-match and post-match activity is not happening. So disruption for everyone in the world, a lot of disruption in the media, but spectacular disruption in the sporting industry. Those of you following Blinder will probably know we're a remote interview platform that helps storytellers around the world to get things done from anywhere they are. And so it's been an incredibly busy time for us. With a lot of you that have followed our journey over the last few years, getting in touch saying, hey, our circumstances have changed. We need to do a lot of remote storytelling. We need to create innovative content from our homes. Can you help us out? And whilst a lot of our friends in the sports industry have been doing it really tough lately, and our thoughts are there with you and our support's there with you, it's been the busiest time in history for Blinder. And we are getting some great insights from people around the world involved in the media, involved in sports. I've got to give an acknowledgement here to the horse racing industry. Trackside Television in New Zealand was one of the first media companies to spot what was happening with this remote calling technology and to get in and start using it. And Trackside have been really heavy users of Blinder over the last little while, but have also introduced the technology and campaign for it in some ways, I suppose, with the Australian racing channels such as Sky Racing and Racing.com. If you've been watching any horse racing in Australasia over the last week, you have seen a whole lot of Blinder interviews with people such as Dave Stanley ripping into things, Jason Richardson, Aidan Rodley, Brendan Popplewell, using Blinder to talk with the likes of Charlie Fellows or James McDonald, David Hayes, Brendan McCullum joining from his home, the former New Zealand cricket captain. So horse racing industry, you guys have been quite brilliant in the way that you're supporting each other and ripping into your Blinder use. So thanks so much to the crew at Trackside for sort of setting the standards there, and the Aussies for leaping in and doing a brilliant job.
Yeah, it's been really cool to watch those interviews too, because now they're coming from people's couches, literally, and they're just more comfortable and they have a lot more fun, and it's been really entertaining to kind of watch those things come across the board. And they're not in that sterile studio environment anymore or on location somewhere, and they've built up that anxiety of having to go on camera. They're just taking it on their phone, and it's always led to some great conversations. So those have been great.
Nice. Jared, hey, that's some of what's been happening in Australasia, but the US is a whole different world. What's happening over there?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of uptick, especially from college sports, but also some of the other pro leagues. Just off the top of my head, who's come on board in the last couple of weeks? It's Atlanta United FC, University of Illinois, which is an FBS school. We have an FCS school in Richmond, Texas Women's University. D2 has a couple that have come aboard, recently. Eastern University, Pennsylvania, who's got a communication staff of one, is ripping into it, and it's been fun to see them really take hold. They understand that, hey, we've got to keep media and fans engaged, even though I'm working from my kitchen table now. And so they're using our product to remotely do the jobs that they would have been doing anyway. but it's the other schools that are catching on. And it's like when we get reached out to from a school because of something they saw TWU did and say, hey, was that blinder? It's like now a Texas Women's University can, use this time as an opportunity to be a pioneer in a whole different realm of storytelling that they hadn't before, and really and grow their brand in a way that they hadn't before. We kind of joked about it internally, but they had the first ever synchronized swimming conversation on blinder last week. And so it's those types of things that, in this kind of experimental environment people are living in, is really going to change the way I think a lot of people think about how they produce their content and how they reach their fans.
Speaking of one club that's done a spectacular job, I think, from the north of England, the Leeds Rhinos, another client that signed up in the last week and belted out multiple dozens of calls already. Brad Dwyer, I'll give a specific shout out to you. So Brad Dwyer, one of the Leeds Rhinos players, has gone, I can help our club in this time stay connected with our fans and our sponsors. And Brad is doing a podcast series where he interviews other mates of his from his lounge room to theirs. Mates of his meaning other players in the team or former greats of the club, such as Ryan Hall, who's now over in Sydney with his shirt off at the Sydney Roosters. So Phil Daly and the crew at Leeds have really embraced and taken an attitude of we can't drop off the face of the earth just because we aren't playing games, and we need to do things to keep our fans engaged. And if I was a Leeds Rhinos fan, I'd feel pretty specially treated by that club at the moment. We'll catch up with Phil and hopefully Brad on another one of these segments, but they're doing a great job. Check out the Leeds Rhinos if you want to see a club cranking out content while there's no contact between any of their staff and players.
We've seen had a lot of questions asked about, hey, can you help us get started in video editing? And so we did this week. And on our blog, if you go to blinderhq.com, go to our blogs page, you'll see we've uploaded some Adobe Premiere templates that you're just plug and play. So you can download your Blinder video, plug them into the Adobe Premiere template, maybe change some colors or add a logo on Premiere or in Photoshop, and press play. And now you've got a really beautiful video to show to your fans through whatever channel or platform you want to use. I think that's going to wrap us up for this week, Caley. And anything else before you go?
I suppose we should just mention, very conscious that people are in trying times in a lot of situations at the moment. We've pulled together a couple of packs to help people get started, one for bigger teams up to 10 users, and for our smaller teams with just 1 or 2 users, we've got something for you as well. So we'll drop some details of that across this video. I'll leave you to do those fancy bits, Jared. But if we can help you out in the next little while, please get in touch. We're here to help, and we're in a blessed position in some respects of hearing a lot of what's going on in the industry, and we're here to share and help. So that would be the last bit from me, JT.
Sounds good. So if you're getting this from somewhere other than our newsletter, be sure you come and subscribe to our newsletter. There's a lot of helpful hints about how teams are handling remote work, as well as what a lot of our clients are doing to kind of get back in the flow of revenue generation, content creation, and all the things they need to do to maintain their organizations during this time. That's it for me. Good to talk to you. Hope you get out of isolation soon, and I'm sure we'll see each other again here next week.
Nice one. Thanks, Jared. Thanks,
all right,
everyone.
Take care. Cheers, mate.